Welcome back, guys. So today's video is going to mark the first installment in my series of 5 things on my mind. So I hope this goes as well as I want it to, and I actually hope I'll have all my thoughts in order. But yes, let's jump right into this video. So the first thing that has been on my mind is or the thing I want to talk about is the issue of equal pay when it comes to this corporate world that most of us are involved in. And speaking for myself, I've been working in the corporate world for 6 years now at the company I'm at, and we've been seeing this thing going on in Hollywood, and we thought it was just an issue for the women in Hollywood or the women who are acting. We've seen women asking for equal pay, or we've seen the discrepancies in payments made to male actors versus female actors, and you'll always find that male actors are paid way more than female actors, and it begs the question, what's the difference? And I always thought this was limited to just them until I actually went through it myself. So last year I did some job interviews, but this one interview stood out for me because the questions I was asked, so I managed to go through, I think there were 4 levels of the interview, so I managed to go through all those levels till I reached the final stage, which involved meeting the ED of the organization. And we were 2 candidates that had made it up to that stage. So it turns out that the guy I was competing with, when it came to the asking price for the salaries we wanted to be paid, I was informed that I was a few figures shy of what he was asking for. But what really shocked me was when I was asked why I was asking for that much money, and then this executive director went on to ask me if I had problems. He went on to ask me if I had debts I needed to pay, and when I tell you my spirit was crushed, like, that's even an understatement, because here I am doing an interview, and given you may not see my worth yet until you give me the opportunity to work in your organization, but for me to actually reach that level of interviews means there must have been something about me. But if I'm going to compete at an equal scale as my male colleague, and you're asking me if I have problems to justify my asking price, but you did not ask my male colleague the same questions, it just, like, it honestly, it shocked me, because the reality hit me then that I don't think we as women will ever be at the same level as men. And it's also something we've seen in the creative industry. I mean, we have content creators working. They really work. These guys really do put in work. And you have these companies asking them for price quotations and the like, and when they send their price quotations, these companies are like, oh, so you're very expensive, how can you ask for that much just to either post a video or to put out a picture talking about my product. But the thing people forget is a lot of work goes into you know, all this. I don't think content creators, well, speaking for myself, it's not easy coming up with content, and not just any type of content, but content that's actually going to be consumed in a good way, and that's going to be informative, that's going to be educative. Because if you want good quality, if you want something good, you have to pay for it. At least that's something I have learned. You have to pay for good service, you have to pay for good quality. And if someone has justifications and can show that, you know, they've put out good quality work, if they can show that I'm capable of doing something, you know, very well, I've risen through the ranks because of hard work, I've had all these promotions, and they come and ask you to pay for that worth, then I think it's only right that you do so without having to discriminate on the basis of, oh, she's a female or they're male. Like, you know, it's till this day, it's something that still beats my understanding, because, you know, it's still going on. I've still done a couple of interviews this year, and that's the main question I'm always asked of, oh, you're asking for way too much. But at the end of the day, if my resume is showing what I'm bringing to the table, then I don't see why you have to ask me why I'm asking for that much, and you won't ask that same question to my male counterpart. And, you know, without even basing on my stories that I'm telling you, I mean, look at the WhatsApp that you know, went viral, where I think it's the CEO magazine that posted the salaries for the top paid MDs and EDs in, you know, these financial institutions. I specifically went through that list to look out for, you know, the women on the list. And if you've gone through that list, you will notice that women are actually still paid less. Because I think the MD, was she the MD or no, I think she's the MD of Citibank, and Citibank it's worldwide. I mean, that's one of the banks like any of us would want to work for, but she's being paid, I don't know, like it was little compared to the male MDs. I mean, with the highest being paid about 138 million, 133 million, and you're like, these sums are obscene. But we need to start a conversation on this. We need to start a conversation on the discrepancies that, you know, in this day and age we still face because of you know, the different sexes. And it's a conversation we need to start. It's something we need to talk about as women, because if I'm bringing the same game to the table, if I'm bringing the same worth, if I'm bringing the same energy as my male counterpart, then I see no reason why I shouldn't be paid, you know, the same as them. Yeah, so, you know, it's something that's really been bothering me, and I would really like for us to start a conversation based on this and to see what can we do to change this narrative. If any of you out there has some ideas, if you can point me in the right direction, if you could, you know, start a conversation, if we can start anything to get people talking about this, then just let me know. You know, reach out to me and let's see how we can work on this whole issue, and how we can approach this narrative and maybe even be game changers, you know, surrounding this whole thing. Yeah, the second issue that I would like to also touch on, that has been on my mind for the past couple of months, is relationships. And this is not relationships in terms of you know, love and partners and the like, or romantic love. This is relationships in regards to the people we surround ourselves with, and most especially in regards to friends and the energy that we allow our friends to bring into our lives, to bring into our circles. What extents do we have to go to sustain some of these relationships? And I'm basically speaking from a point of view of, as I've gotten older, I've also come to realize that I don't need to have a really big circle of friends. I can have 5 friends and I'm okay with it, and it's actually good, especially if those 5 friends are able to, number one, build me, are able to bring positive vibes into my circle, into my life. They're able to hold me accountable. They're able to call me out on my BS. If I can have just that small circle of 5 friends, I would be very good than having countless friends who, you know, do not develop me. They just poison me. And at the end of that day, when I protect my mental health, and I mean, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, what I'm basically trying to say is do not allow toxic friendships or relationships that get toxic to even reach that level of getting toxic. Always protect your space, always protect your boundaries, always protect your mental health. Guys, everything starts here, and once you're not okay here, trust me, all other aspects of your life will not be okay, because your mind will always be in turmoil or trying to deal with certain situations that, you know, could quite easily be dealt with if you just cut off certain parts, if you cut out certain people. So what I'm here to say is that it's okay to have a circle of friends that's very small, that's very, very intimate, that will build you, than having so many friends who will just, I don't know, just get you down. I don't think we need that in our lives. And also, it doesn't mean that you have to part in a bad way. It's always good to close a chapter. You know, they say friends are seasonal. We go through different seasons in our lives. So if that was a particular season that you had to go through with someone, and that season has come to an end, or that chapter has come to an end, the book has ended, it is okay to close it, but also close it on good terms, because it's not good to burn bridges. But at the same time, once a book is done, a book is done. And, you know, we have to learn to move on, because moving on is not bad, but it's also okay to let go, especially if it will not be good for your mental health and for your general well-being. It is okay to let go. The third thing on my mind has been offline 48. So offline 48 is basically let's say, I think I can now call it a movement. So it's a movement that was started by a blogger and vlogger that I follow. She's called Venetia Falconer from the UK. I'll try to see if I can insert her Instagram profile somewhere here. But so Venetia started the offline 48 movement with her boyfriend. So basically what this means is they go offline for 48 hours, switch off their phones, laptops, iPads. Basically they have no access to anything electronic for 48 hours. And the reason for their starting this was and it's something I've spoken about since this year started, and it's also something very many you know, content creators are talking about. Social media has taken over our lives. It's become something of a silent killer. And if you're like me and you've watched Black Mirror, then you definitely know what I'm talking about. But right now, millennials and people in this century we are so tied down to our phones, we are so tied down to social media. We want to document everything that goes on in our lives. We want to compare our lives with what we're seeing other people do. We've stopped having meaningful conversations. We've stopped having meaningful relationships or friendships. And something needs to be done about that. And only we can do something about that. I can do something about that. You can do something about that. And this is by being intentional and switching off our gadgets, switching off our phones, being present in the moment, taking time to see people and actually have physical conversations with them. So that's basically what Offline 48 is about. It's about being present in the moment. Yeah, so the benefits I've gotten from trying this out so far is that I've reduced my screen time when it comes to social media, when it comes to Instagram, because this is something that had started taking up most of my time and was really affecting me. I want to continue doing it, and I'm very sure as I keep, you know, going along, I'll be able to do the 48 hours. Yeah, but the message Venetia wants to put out is you also don't have to start with the 48 hours. You can start small. So you could start by maybe switching off your data and not receiving WhatsApp messages or going to social media. You could start by saying, you know, I'll switch my phone off maybe 2 hours before bedtime. I will not check my phone 2 hours after waking up. You know, it could be small steps, but at the end of the day, the message she's trying to put across is that spend less time on your gadgets, on your phones, and let's try to be more intentional about being present in the moment and enjoying the things around us before technology comes and destroys you know, everything that we have. The fourth thing on my mind has been about sustainability. Right now, the sustainability movement is it's now more common in the fashion industry, or I would say it's being targeted more towards the fashion industry. And this is in regards to, are we conscious about the clothes we are putting on our bodies? Are we conscious about the people making these clothes, the people working in these factories? What are they going through to make the clothes that we wear? Or what's that material that's being used to make the clothes that we wear? Is it environment friendly? Was animal cruelty involved in the making of our clothes? But also, how much of our clothes go to waste? Like, if you get tired of wearing something, or if your clothes get ripped, if they get old, what do you do about them? Do you throw them away? Do you recycle them? What are we doing to make you know, this fashion industry more sustainable? I must say I'm almost on the verge of trying out a capsule wardrobe, but I don't know how I would do that, but I'm toying with the idea. But the one thing I'm very sure of that I've been doing is I've been going through my wardrobe, I've been going through my clothes, and I've been picking out those pieces that I have not worn in like 6 months, and I've been asking myself the tough questions. Will I ever wear this? Do I love it? Why did I buy it? And slowly by slowly, I've been giving away these clothes to charities. Well, in my last video, I didn't explain what I was doing, but I basically attended an event where you could go and buy clothes, but also give away some clothes. So those were the clothes you saw me giving away to charity. But I've mainly been taking my old clothes or clothes I haven't worn in a while to church. They have a body where we go and give. We give to the less fortunate. So we give clothes, we give shoes, you give basically anything to those who need it more than you do. And by doing that, I guess in my own small way, I would say I'm contributing to this sustainability movement. And you know, with everything I'm saying today, I'm starting small. I'm not starting big, because I'm also still on the journey of trying to understand what it is these movements are pushing for. But the fact that I believe in them, and the fact that I see what they're trying to say and where they're trying to go, I've decided to practice it as well. I need to be conscious about what I buy, what I'm wearing, and where does it go. Do I just throw clothes away? Do I burn them? Or do I give them out to someone who might need them more than I do? So sustainability, and this is both in regards to fashion, in regards to food. Are we wasting food? What sort of food are we eating? It's not easy trying to be conscious about what we're taking into our bodies, but like I keep saying, small steps, baby steps, and I'm pretty sure we shall get there in the long run. Finally, the fifth thing that has also been on my mind is and I had to debate on whether I wanted to talk about this, but I mean, if we're being honest and authentic on here, I might as well go ahead to talk about it. And it's basically marriage. So right now, with Lent done, Easter behind us, very many weddings are happening. People are getting married, but and I'm speaking from, well, I've been married just 2 years. I guess that's not too long, but, and that's not to say, well, don't think I'm here giving you advice as a marriage guru. I know nothing. I am still on this learning journey. It is not easy, but I also feel like I should come on here and say marriage has been glossed over, like it's portrayed as this glossy end game kind of thing of, oh, you should strive to get married, you should strive to have this big elaborate wedding, but people don't really tell us, sorry, as I was saying, people don't really tell us that after the wedding the marriage actually starts. And guys, marriage is work. You will not have a good, basically any kind of relationship, if you do not put in the work. So to anyone out there who is preparing to get married, to my friends that are preparing to get married, the one thing I want to say to you is be ready to put in the work. Cleave to God. Please be very spiritual. Marriage is a very spiritual institution. Cleave to God. He will be your comfort. Communicate. And man, this would have to be a topic on its own. But basically what I'm trying to say is for us women, getting married is not the end game. It is a good thing, but it should not be all we strive to do. There's so many other things we can get done, like build businesses, you know, charity work and the like. Getting married should not be the end goal for us. And also when we do get married, we shouldn't forget who we are. We are still individuals. You're still that person. aside from the fact that you're with someone, but you still have your individuality. So do not lose your individuality. Stay true to yourself, stay true to your beliefs. Keep building yourself. Do not lose yourself. Do not lose who you are, but be ready to also put in the work, because a marriage will not work on its own. It's basically a full-time job, if I could say that. But also always seek help if you feel there are things, you know, well, basically do not die in your marriage. Seek help. You know, right now we've started talking about therapy. We are becoming more open to the topic of therapy, and I haven't yet tried it, but it's something I have thought about, and I would actually do therapy. But there are people out there we can talk to for guidance. Seek guidance. Never die in your movie, ladies. Never die in your movie. There's so many channels, so many avenues we can always get help from, so let's use them. But basically what I'm trying to say is that as women, marriage is not the end game for us. We should keep working hard to also build legacies for ourselves. It is not a crime if you're not yet married. It is not a very big achievement if you are. It's a good thing, but it's not all there is to life. Yeah, so I guess I feel like I could have said more, but I'm not so sure if I want to say much, because like I said, these are just my thoughts. These are things that have been on my mind. Yeah, and just like you, I'm still learning. I'm still doing my research, but like I always say, I always want to come here on my channel and be as authentic as I can, be as open as I can about certain things. Share. The most important thing is information sharing. I want to share information. I want to start conversations around, you know, these issues that touch on us, that we go through every day. Yeah, and I guess that brings me to the end of this video. I hope it has been informative, or I hope it has given you something to think about, something to talk about. And feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section below. Yeah, and let's get talking. Let's really get talking, guys. Let's really start you know, conversations around things that are quite important to us. Yeah, but aside from that, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you again next time. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like my videos, don't forget to share my videos. Actually, please share my videos with each and everyone that you can. Yeah, but I will see you again in my next video. Bye, guys.